Welcome back to Lost Legacies.
A Hidden City Book Company production.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
I hope everyone got to eat a little extra or eat something you don't usually get. Maybe like some treats or cookies if you don't normally eat cookies or if your doctor tells you not to. Um, maybe some tamales or something. I don't know.
Christmas tamales.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't know about you, but I am stuffed of Christmas things.
Yeah, I hope
That's for sure.
everyone got to spend time with loved ones, spend time with us on our Christmas special we did last week, and yeah, yeah. So we're gonna knock out the rest of this year. We got 2 episodes of Arcane left, starting with this one,
Mm-hmm.
because today we're talking about Arcane season 2, episode 9, "The Dirt Under Your Nails."
What?
Nope, nope. That's next time. Hang on. Because today we're talking about Arcane Season 2, Episode 8, Killing is a Cycle.
I was about to say, I
I
was
had
like,
them all, I had them all written down right here. I was like, oh.
it's like, did I watch the wrong episode again?
Oh no, I don't think you've ever watched the wrong episode though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You did?
No, well, not for Arcane, but I did for Lost, like back in
Oh, you
season
started
two
the
or
wrong
three.
episode. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you're
Yeah.
like, wait a second. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Hmm.
I do have some thoughts about this one,
Okay.
but I think before we get into it, I just wanted like, what was your overall opinion of this?
Uh, yeah. I liked it. It was really good episode, solid episode. You know, c- coming off of pretty much a perfect Arcane episode last week, that was going to be tough to beat. This one was still good, still, beautifully animated. I think like the cast is all doing great. But this one for sure, like if I was already worried at like episode 5, 4 or 5 of like, man, how are they gonna wrap this up in X amount of episodes? I'm even more worried now at episode 8, being like, man, how are they gonna wrap this up in one episode? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how they can. I'm really I'm pretty sure that now here, with only one episode we haven't seen yet, we just have one
Hmm.
left after this. Uh I'm pretty sure like this isn't the end. I think when I'm assuming because they're saying like this is going to be the end of Arcane, I
Mm.
think the end of this storyline of the Arcane and probably of Vi and Jinx maybe. But like I don't know how do we not get more of Mel?
Yeah.
Right? Like they're really setting her up for something big and I'm like, is she gonna get a spin-off? Or
Hmm.
I can also like not knowing like what's gonna happen in the next episode, like I could see this being the end, the last time we see Jace, last time we see Victor, things are really coming to a head. So it's like, okay, yeah, I can see how this is gonna
Hmm.
be the end of stuff, but I don't know. Like they're really building up Mel to be a much bigger character, and I'm like, huh. I
Yeah.
don't know how they're gonna do this. Um, yeah, and I'm also kind of thinking about last week's episode again, but kind of now in the context of this, like, what was the point of that episode? Like we talked how like we saw Jace go through some crappy stuff, but still doesn't justify his actions, you
Yeah.
know. But then Echo, like, why did they need to show us that alternate world? Like, how is that going to pay off?
Yeah.
Is it just going to be thematically like because we already said like we don't think people are getting happy endings. Is that kind of the point? Like this ends with Echo kind of a little like a hope and idea of like what he can fight for, but
Hmm.
also knowing that like he doesn't have that. That's something that happened to someone else, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is something that's cool. Like they're really this show has always gone into the details and including like character details. They're really able to like or not that they're able to, but they really take the time to like what I'm assuming last episode was. They're like, hey, we're just gonna give this to Echo to kind of hammer home his character beats in the last episode, of what he's missing or what he doesn't get. And it's like, oh my
Right.
God, how many millions of dollars are you spending on this episode? And that's what they chose to do it on, which is
Hmm.
brilliant. I love it. I think that's a very ballsy move to not really have the main plot in it. So, that's just kind of a testament to the show running and the creators through this whole show that they're able again, it's not that they're able to, it's that they've decided to take time to slow it
Right.
down and to
Right.
to pursue these different things for sake of character, not over character over plot.
Hmm.
It's kind of like this whole show is an experiment in character over plot. The plot's great, but it's like if we don't care about these characters, we wouldn't really care about the plot.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's those details that I absolutely love, and I'm gonna bring talk more about those details later. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't know, man. I'm really kind of nervous as well. I think a week or
Hmm.
two ago I said I'm excited. I think this is gonna be great, and now I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, and this definitely feels because I was talking to Kat and I was explaining like the breakdown, of like what happened, with like they were given, so many hundreds of thousands of dollars to make, like 5 seasons of a series.
millions, yeah, millions
Oh
of
yeah,
dollars.
millions, millions. Yeah, sorry. They were given so many millions of dollars to make 5 seasons of a series, and they blew most of it in the first season, so then they could
Well,
only do two.
no, I mean they wanted to do five, but the
Yeah.
amount they were given was just enough for two.
Mm.
So it's not that they blew it. It's just that they had to like consolidate and they're like, well, we're telling our whole story in two seasons.
Yeah.
And I think that's for the first time, I feel like that's kind of evident in this episode.
Yeah.
A lot happened and fast, and it's kind of this is the first time watching the show where I'm like, all right, we need a little suspension of disbelief here.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
I think it's been a little subtle throughout like the last couple of episodes, just with like how fast I felt like they were kind of going through some
Yeah.
storylines.
Mhm.
But definitely in this episode, I'm like, this is yeah, it is evident that you guys kind of had to rush to the finish here.
Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely a couple of storylines are going pretty fast, but also there's a lot of time jumps that we're not exactly sure what that time is.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one was really fast because also like they didn't get 3 episodes to tell their arc because last week's was like a standalone essentially.
Yeah.
So they have 2 episodes to wrap it up.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still good. It was solid. I loved it. The fight between Jace and Mel and Victor was interesting. Dude, I love the way Jace uses that hammer, man. Like he doesn't look as strong as he is.
Hmm.
We saw him shirtless like in the first season, when he's like he's building the stuff and I'm like, "Okay, cool." But dude, to rock that hammer, you got to be strong. And I'm like, it wasn't until he was in like that other world or like the future and like the hammer lost the hex tech. So all
Yeah.
of a sudden it became heavy. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's cool." Yeah. But dude, he's like, yeah, he's a surgeon with that thing. Well, not really,
Not
but
really.
not the way he uses it, but the way he moves with it. I was like, dude, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. He's
So
very graceful in the way he like moves and
yeah.
maneuvers
But then he's
stuff.
just
Yeah.
blasting everything.
Yeah.
But then even then, like the hammer's arcane now. And he's
Hmm.
just blasting everything, and now there's pieces of Arcane on the wall. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's consuming him. It's like it's crawling up his arm, and
Hmm.
he still has the little shard in his wrist. I'm like, what is going on, dude?
Dude, I was so pissed that like, his initial reaction to seeing Mel is like, "Oh, like you're alive. Like I'm so glad you're alive."
Uh-huh.
And then immediately sees all the arcane on her and is like, "Why didn't you save the council? Like why did
Yeah,
you only save us two?" It's like, dude, stop blaming everybody else.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know? It's like and even then it's like you can make the argument that like Jace does blame himself, but I don't even think he really knows what he's blaming himself for. You know?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he's upset at everything
Hmm.
and and sees that like well the hex tech is the problem. But then yeah, like you're absolutely right. He's just shooting off, his arcane, blast or whatever,
Hmm.
and yeah, now it's ruining the council chamber. And it's like, clue those, how do you not piece those clues together that, like, I think this is what's the problem, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. It's never us. It never is, you know?
Y- yeah, yeah.
But I mean, but the hard part is that like he has seen himself as the problem before,
Hmm.
so it's like I don't know why he does it now.
Hmm.
So, and I mean, it's I don't want to get too far into it, but we did bring that up early in the season. It's just like, okay, Jace is kind of just been on a loop, like, oh nope, can't use Hex Tech against, Zon. Oh, but we have to. Okay, I'll make an exception this time. Oh
Hmm.
no, I was wrong. We shouldn't use it, but this time we have to, and it's just like, all right.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
wish they would have like used that to capitalize on it to really show like what brought Jace to this mindset,
Hmm.
that it's all bad. Because like I'm not buying it. Like
Yeah.
right now, if you told me, oh yeah, he's just influenced by some kind of arcane infection, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
But that's also like, that's lazy.
it's like a cop out. But
Yeah.
but we don't have any answers. It's just like, okay, uh I, I don't know. Maybe he is, since he is being turned, he is kind of becoming one with the arcane and he is being manipulated. Like I don't know.
Hmm.
I just yeah. Yeah. But Jace's story is kind of the only one storyline the Jace's storyline is the only one that like I'm not really a fan of.
Yeah.
I liked it during season 1, but then season 2 is just like I don't know what's going on, dude.
Yeah.
So, what else? What do we want to talk about next?
Victor, man.
Yeah, he's pretty much said he's like, "Well, I tried."
But did you?
Well, he tried with Jace, but Jace would
Yeah.
just wasn't having it. But now it's like, okay, I'm still not sure like
Like
what
what?
his goals are.
Yeah, yeah. See, like this is the thing. Like I'm down for Victor's story more so than Jace's, but I feel
Hmm.
like Victor's also has a problem of being just very plot centric and not character centric this season
Hmm.
because we don't know what his goal is. Like, is
Right.
his goal just knowledge, just to learn, just to see like what is out there? Like because if it is like that's cool, that's very much our jam,
Hmm.
but you know we still don't know. We're 8 episodes into the season, one more episode left, and I still don't know what his goal is. And it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, at least from this standpoint, it doesn't make sense why he would align himself with the doctor, you know? Like it's
Yeah.
just to
Like,
keep you alive, but to what end?
because even tell Sky goodbye. So, like, he's even transcending. He's like losing whatever's left of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what his goal is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and supposedly, I, I think that's it for Vander.
I think so.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's sad. It was a beautiful way to do it, but I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful like visually, but it's like something's going on with whatever chemical process is in Vander's body that is now being like transferred to Victor's consciousness, like his body, and
Right.
it's just turning him into, another kind of monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it sucks too, man. Like again, like this cool. Vander's dead now, and I don't have time to process that because
Yeah.
I'm worried about this new upcoming apocalypse, this new war.
Yeah.
That kind of got to me where it's like Jace has been gone who knows how long, comes back, wreaks havoc in the Undercity, and then immediately comes back to Piltover and is like, we've all gotta stick together. We've all gotta tough it out. We all gotta fight these things. It's like I'm kind of with everybody else that left that room not willing to fight because it'd be like, yeah, like you keep saying this is our fight.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like it, you know? So I completely
Yeah.
understand why only a few like people from Zon
Yeah.
walked across the bridge
It's
to help
like
out. It's like,
he
yeah, this doesn't make
he
sense, dude.
started it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like there was no problem before. But I mean, I that's a tricky situation, you know, because it's like what would you do, you know?
Mhm.
I wouldn't do what Jace does, but he's a freaking scientist, man. He's an inventor. Like, think of a way to speak your thoughts.
Yeah.
The thoughts, the words you know, the words in your head words.
hmm
Speak them. Come on, Jace. Like,
Yeah, it's like
oh,
again, like he's just being reactionary to everything. It's like, dude, yeah, he's a
yeah.
scientist.
Like,
Stop and think the problem through.
it's yeah, exactly. Victor even tells him he's like, at some point, you know, you lost your sense and started giving into fear.
hmm
And it's like, yeah, man. But then at the same time, Caitlyn isn't really facing any repercussions either. You know, she
hmm
straight up let Ambessa like in and not really take over, but essentially kind of take over a little bit, you
hmm
know, and now she's just there at Jace's side, like both of them, like, what the heck, man?
Yeah.
But before we talk about Caitlyn and Vi, let's talk about Jinx. She's got a lot of hair, dude.
Yeah.
I love that image, very Rapunzel, you know, of
hmm
her in the prison. Uh, that was a great scene, dude, where she's talking to Silco. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, yeah. She has changed. She feels guilty. Oh, and she when she does talk to Vi, she even says something to the fact that there is no version of me that's good. And I was like, oh, but we just saw a version of you that was good, you
hmm
know, in the other world. And
hmm
like, it's kind of ironic because the good one, the world with powder, that's the one where Vi dies.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I think it would be easy to imagine a world where that breaks powder and she wants vengeance, you know, or something. But like, there's no one to really lash out at. It was all of them, you know.
hmm
It was an accident, and like, the one where her sister's alive is the one where she's abandoned and gets turned into Jinx.
hmm
Ah, jeez. But Jinx makes her escape, and she's sounding very suicidal. I'm like, oh no, what's she gonna
Yep.
do?
Yeah, I don't like that.
I
And
don't like it.
she has she has little arcane balls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the theme of this episode.
I'm scared.
I'm worried.
I'm scared. Like I just want it to end good. Like give me a solid ending. I know it's
Yeah.
gonna break my heart, but as
Yeah.
long as it's good, please deliver, you know?
hmm
Um, now, Vi and Caitlyn,
In a prison cell?
that's hot, man.
In a prison
That's hot.
cell? In your sister's prison
And the
cell.
music they chose, sorry, I think I spiked there. The music they chose, oh man, you know,
Hey, top tier, you know.
yeah.
It was great. I did read this was the only thing that got spoiled for me this season.
Uh-huh.
this scene.
Oh,
I
okay.
knew they were going to uh interact,
Uh-huh.
as it were.
Tango,
Um
the horizontal tango.
yeah, the horizontal shuffle. Uh I was trying to think like, yeah, pilt her over. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm sorry.
Pilt
Uh
over. I hardly know her.
that's better. Yeah, apparently the animators and the people that made this scene, it was longer and it
Mm-hmm.
was a lot sexier.
Mm.
And when they showed it to the execs at Netflix, they were like, "Whoa, hey, whoa, we gotta tone this down." And they were just like, "Why? Why do we have to tone this?" Like,
Yeah.
well, because they're like, so like, there's no official word of why it was cut down, but just know this is not the initial animator's intent.
They're like, we can't stream this. We got to tone it down. But
Yeah,
can I have this copy?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's what they said.
yeah. Essentially, yeah.
Well, I thought this is where I'm getting back into the details. The details of this scene, Sam. Like how
This
much
is
money.
where you get back into detail.
This is
Wow.
why I'm getting into the nitty gritty, Sam. I'm just diving
Uh-huh.
in head
Mm.
first.
Mm.
Uh,
Just like bye.
like how much does this show cost per second to make, and to animate?
Hmm.
But they took the time for Caitlyn to just like stare at Vi and to like blow like the little strand of hair in her face. Not even a
Hmm.
lot, just subtly. I'm like, nice. Okay, and then they're taking each other's clothes off, but they're struggling with Caitlyn's like clasp on her belt, and they both kind of like laughed or kind of giggling, and I'm like, dude, this is like they just brought they took the beats, they took their moments, they took their time, and it added a sense of realism to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah, that's where I want the money going to. Those little details, you know?
Hmm.
And I was like, it's kind of hard to clap because the mic are so damn good. But I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
What did I tell you earlier? I was like, as a lesbian ally, I can say the lesbians are going to be very happy with this episode. I'm proud to say. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, man, it was good, it's beautiful, it was great. I did want to bring up there's no easy way to transition, so we're gonna talk about sex right here for a second.
Okay.
Legends of Vox Machina season 3. We just watched that a month or two ago,
Hmm.
and they had a super steamy scene.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what you get with Amazon. They're like, bring it, we want more. Whereas Netflix is
Hmm.
like, oh no, this is too much.
Well, also you have to, I'm gonna bring it in here and say like this. That's the expectation when you have a steamy heterosexual sex scene, and
True.
this is a lesbian sex scene.
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
yeah, I can't like I'm like that is just yeah that is
Yeah,
what it is.
I agree with you, but at the same time, now granted, I'm not a person who watches a lot of animation,
Hmm.
so I don't know, but to me, like Legends of Vox Machina, the scene, spoiler alert, I guess, the scene between Vex and Percy, I'm like, dude, like I didn't know they could do this with cartoons, like and
Yeah.
air this, like they really pushed the envelope, and it's a beautiful scene because like they're interweaving it with Vax and Keyleth, which is a completely different scene and has a completely different tone, you
Hmm.
know? And it was great. I'm like, wow, that's just rad the way they did it.
Hmm.
Um, whereas this one, it's more, I'd probably say if you're looking at a risque factor, definitely Vox Machina, was more explicit.
For sure.
Um, but I don't know. This one was still just as beautiful. And again, the music. I don't know who sang that song. I'm staying away from the soundtrack of Arcane until I finish it because I don't want to get spoiled by anything.
Yeah, yeah.
But the song
You,
was just perfect, and I'm like,
you don't.
it's about damn time. About
Yeah,
damn time.
yeah.
Now, finally had the will they won't they lesbian romance. They finally hooked up. neither of those characters better die. Neither
I
of
was
them.
I was just about to say it's like, yep, and it's the perfect opportunity next episode for somebody to get fridged.
I know. I was like, oh no.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know. Who do we think's not coming out of the next episode? Because keep in mind, they still haven't killed off any League of Legends characters.
True. True.
And
Yeah, yeah. Even, we thought that they killed Victor last time.
Victor, but nope,
Victor's
he's still around.
he's still here. Here here's my nihilist take. They're gonna kill all of them.
I
We're
don't
only
know.
gonna be left with side characters, and maybe Mel.
What could,
Maybe Mel survives, but
yeah.
I don't like I feel like I don't know how controversial or how much of a hot take this is, but I feel like it's Jinx. Jinx doesn't make it out.
I think she's the wild card, which is fitting.
Hmm.
But I'm trying to think of like where could their stories go next?
Yeah.
And Singh, right? The mad scientist guy?
Yeah.
I think he's done. Like, I don't know where else
Oh,
they
yeah.
can go. Um, they
Yeah,
might
unless they're
try to,
gonna say that he makes all these other monsters, out there or
yeah.
whatever. Like, no, I
Because
don't think
also, and
so.
his story is just not very interesting. There's nothing unique about it that we haven't seen in other forms of media before.
Yeah.
They might try and tie it in with his daughter somehow, but I don't know.
Hmm.
Mel, I think, is safe. Ambessa can go either way because I'm like, if we're gonna see more of Mel in the future, I can imagine seeing more of Ambessa. But
Yeah.
she is kind of in a way like the main antagonist right now, so I don't know how they would wrap that up.
Yeah.
So, Monster Vander, he's pretty much gone. I'm sure. Jace,
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, I don't. It's not that I don't see him surviving. It's just like I don't know where else you can take his character. You
Yeah.
know, I don't like if we get a Mel spinoff. I don't want him a part of it. I want her to do her own thing. I love that. Like after she gets her abilities and stuff, and she looks great, dude. Like it's such a cool design to have
Hmm.
like the gold like infused with her skin, and I'm
Hmm.
like, dude, that looks so rad.
In
Uh,
a way, it looks like a much more like integrated version of what's happening with like Victor and his followers.
kind of,
You
yeah, yeah.
know? Yeah.
So yeah, man, I don't know, but I like how they say like it's not safe for what did it say like a lone mage or something like that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, dude, there's got to be more from
Hmm.
Tamel's story. Like, I don't know. So Jace, I think would be a safe bet. I don't know if they'll kill him or not, but it's like I don't know where else his story would go.
Yeah.
So I just what I don't want is them to like wrap this up nicely in a bow, but all the characters are still like in the position they are now because they're like, well, they're League of Legends characters. We can't kill any of them.
Yeah.
For continuity's sake. Like, I hope they don't do that.
Yeah.
Jinx is the wild card. Like, killing her, like, what would that accomplish? Would that unite people? I don't know. But I
I think in the
also,
right context, it could.
yeah, I also don't know by keeping her alive, like, what does that accomplish? How do they move
Yeah.
forward?
Yeah.
Uh, I refuse to believe that the Vi and Jinx storyline is done though.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. I think Echo's fine. I think Echo and Mel.
Yeah. I'm hopeful. I don't know. Like they gave Echo a pretty like tearful send off in that
Yeah,
last episode
yeah.
that I'm kind of like I okay, no. I don't agree with you. I don't think Echo is safe.
Dang.
I
Well, it's like because he's like the only one who's really attached to Zahn, you know?
yeah.
And I'm like, well, if he kills him, or if you kill him, then like who who is left that we know to kind of step in? Like, I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of those side characters that we've been seeing are gonna die. Um,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, so I don't know, and yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just that for me, I think my two biggest, which I'll probably also be mad about, is uh Jinx and Echo.
Yeah.
I feel like they for sure aren't walking away from this.
They can't kill Jinx. She's a Fortnite character. And Heimerdinger, like, is he gone? Did he vaporize? Is he dead? Like, I need more. Are we gonna get him
Right?
in the post credit sequence?
He's gonna turn. There's gonna be a tiny little hooded figure, and he's gonna turn to the camera and go, "Shh,"
Uh-huh.
and that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd be like, "What does that mean?" Never find out.
yeah, yeah. I once well, you know, like the show's ended already. We just haven't watched the ending, so it's been done
Right,
for a few weeks at this point.
right.
Uh and I have yet to hear any news about like what's next in the Arcane world, you know?
Hmm.
And so I'm really curious. I'm keeping my eyes and ears open for anything of a spin-off or whatever. Like,
Heimerdinger, the adventure continues.
right? What else? What else about this episode? It was just like it was good. It was solid. I really enjoyed it. It definitely feels like part one of a two-parter because everything in this episode is like really
Hmm.
setting up the last episode.
Yeah, yeah, I
Uh,
agree. Um, yeah, and and because of that, I feel like it's solid, but there's a lot of loose threads
yeah,
that, that just again, I'm struggling to think of how you're going to end this in a way that feels both cohesive and satisfying,
yeah.
you
And it's
know?
like, you know, we don't sit down and watch something and be like, oh, this is how I grade this episode or rank this episode.
Yeah, right,
Um,
right, right.
I like to do that afterwards just because, you know, like I don't know if that's ADHD or like OCD, but like I need my lists and I need to know how this episode compares to the rest of the series. You know,
Hmm.
that's a me thing. Uh, but it's one of those things where like there's so many just open-ended things that's like I can't really judge it or critique it until I know where it goes.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's also kind of more of an artistic approach too. That's the actor in me. Like as an actor, I understand like actors who want to know what's going to happen with their characters. You know, so like you can only really do that on a series because a movie you get a script. You know, if a
Hmm.
play you get a script, but like the series, who knows? Like you might know what's going to happen to you that season, but do you know what's going to happen to you at the end of it all in season 5?
Yeah.
You know, uh, I I would like to know, but at the same time, to me, it's part of the journey. You know, like I don't really want to know anything that my character doesn't know. Kind of like
Mm.
D&D as well. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Charlie Hunnam was talking about that with Sons of Anarchy. Like he really, really wanted to know what happens to Jax Teller at the end so he can kind of build towards that. And I don't think Kurt Sutter ever really, I think he told him eventually, but even then, like he didn't really know for sure until like they were writing that last episode. You
Mm.
know, and then they're gonna film it. He's like, okay, this is how it ends. I'm like, oh geez, man.
Mm.
How did I start talking about acting? I don't remember. Oh, about critiquing. Like that's
Yeah,
kind of how
yeah.
I see it. Like I'm not thinking about the future, but there's certain storylines in this where it's like I can't really tell you if I'm digging the story. Like I'm digging it, but I can't tell you if it's until it's over, you know, like how it really held up. You know, because who knows? Like Jace could have an awesome final episode,
Hmm.
but also maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, listeners, this is it. This is, oh, hang on a second. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last Lost Legacies episode of the year.
Oh, wow.
What a year it's been.
You
Been a
didn't say
long
that.
day, time without you, my friend.
No, it's day. It's a
Day?
long
Oh,
day.
no,
Yeah.
I screwed that up. I'm sorry.
It's been a long road.
Well, you said road.
Yeah, I was singing the
Oh, the next
Faith
part.
of the Heart. from
Oh, from Star Trek?
yeah, from Star Trek Enterprise. Been a long road.
That's all I know.
That's all I know. Because I'm always like,
Oh
click.
God, that song. Um, I wonder, like, I
That's
wonder
what
how the
I.
band feels about that.
Yeah, yeah,
Like if you're proud of it, if I was proud of that song, I would be proud of that song. Just be
yeah,
like, hey, it's cheesy,
for
but it's
sure.
a Star Trek theme song. I'd go
Yeah,
to conventions and we'll sing it together.
right.
It's
Yeah,
become such a meme that like I think it's more lovable now than it was when
yeah,
it was on air.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel like right now it is good. It is at a point where you can unironically say, yeah, I do
Yeah.
love that song.
Okay, so speaking of theme songs, what do you think would be a better theme song for Arcane?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
Something about revolution, something about sisters, sisterhood.
Four non-blondes. What's going on? What's going on? Um,
Something about getting punched in the face.
I was gonna say, what is it? Start a Revolution by Tattoo.
Oh God. Wow.
But I also just remember that was the theme song to the very short-lived CW series Birds of Prey.
That's right.
Yeah,
Was that CW? Was it CW yet?
I think it was CW because Smallville had already been on. And I think I think we were like maybe like 4 or 5 seasons in. Actually, no. I need to.
No, I think that was WB still.
Was that still WB?
Yeah.
Oh
CW
man.
was because I don't remember if Supernatural. I don't remember if it was CW when Supernatural started.
Uh I think it was. Oh, okay. No, no, no. Yeah, this was still WB because this was on 2002, 2003. Because
Wow.
Supernatural, I think, was the start of CW.
That was like '05.
Yeah, that was '05. You're right.
I
Dang,
remember,
'05 to 2020.
dang, dude.
That's
That's
a
when
stretch.
that's
That's
when I moved
wild.
to New York because I just remember seeing the posters all over New York. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
on
yeah.
bus stops. There were people like on the street corners handing out supernatural bracelets. And just
Oh,
like they look
whoa.
like cheesy like friendship bracelets, but
Sure, yeah.
supernatural. It's like watch this show, watch this show. It's gonna be like the next best thing. It's super scary. I'm like, whatever.
hmm
Yeah.
And then what happened? We tried to watch the first episode and turned it off.
Yeah, I was like, dude, this is too scary.
Yeah,
I turned
yeah,
it off.
yeah.
Um,
I got like 30 seconds in, and then once like the little baby mobile over the crib started going by itself, I was like, nope, I'm done.
nope.
I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm
And then
out.
it went on for 15 years, dude.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know what show won't be going on for 15 years?
Birds of Prey?
Yeah, and Arcane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Man.
That's what we're talking
I
about.
wish there was a League of Legends game we can play to like really get a better sense of the world and the characters that's not League of Legends. I don't have it, man. Like I'm just a little boy that they beat the living hell out of me every time I play.
You're
I was
not
like,
that guy. You don't got
I'm
that
not
dog
that
in you.
guy. I'm not that guy. You got to be an absolute stone cold killer to be good at that game, and then I
Jeez.
I am not. Well, listeners, this is it. Last time, if you got any predictions, let us know.
No
Uh
spoilers. No spoilers. Just
yeah, just
predictions.
let us know. Hit us up, hashtag Lost Legacies. I'm on.
You had questions. You wrote down stuff to talk about.
Oh, yeah. I'm a professional, Sam. I weaved it into the conversation.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, Sam, if you were gonna create your own League of Legends champion, like, who would you create?
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I think I'll let you sit on it for a week and then we could come up with it in the next
Oh.
episode.
Ooh, party answer, you
Yeah,
know?
this is gonna be our Arcane spin-off. Like, what character would you bring? And I think, dude,
Yeah.
if you just go to League of Legends website, look at champions, like all 100 of them. and
Uh,
you'll see like just how vast and like varied they are. Like
mhm.
I want to make all of these characters in D&D. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
man. I'm also thinking like, what other character could you like League of Legend-ify? Because
What do you mean?
I always think of like Captain America. I was like, oh yeah, he's like this old war hero who's frozen and wakes up in modern day. Like, how would you do that in Arcane? He was a
Mm.
soldier who got frozen during like the Mage Wars, and now
Hmm.
he's back. And he has this awesome Hex Tech shield. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I wish I was an artist, dude. I would do League of Legends like DC and Marvel characters. Well,
That'd
I think
be interesting.
I think Marvel would probably fit better.
Maybe I think you could play around with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there'd be certain characters that I think would be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Like from DC in
Yeah.
Arcane. Um, yeah, they dropped some lore during like Mel stuff. You said like the Wizard Wars, and
Yeah.
yeah, they talked about the Rune Wars.
Hmm.
I'm
Which
like,
I don't know
well,
if that's the same thing or not,
I don't know.
because Heimerdinger, I believe he called it the Mage Wars or something like that in season one.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Hmm.
I want to know what that guy's runes do. Now Bessa has them on her glove.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, huh, some kind of protection maybe, or
Hmm.
gives you extra oomph to your hits.
Right. Oh, also a very interesting detail that they bury their dead like standing up.
Standing up, I thought that was cool.
I'm like, that's kind of
No
rad.
rest even in death.
Nope.
Like,
Uh-uh.
oh man. Yeah.
Man.
No. Um, but yeah, I don't know, because I was also thinking of like other other worlds, of course, because like I know more about Runeterra because I've read like the books and I've seen the other characters and stuff. So I'm constantly thinking like, well, what other kind of world or like country could you add to this world? And I asked you this earlier, and you said something more sci-fi. Like, how would
Mhm.
you do that? And I was thinking, well, it's interesting enough that I was thinking like Mirror's Edge, because when we were talking about
Mm,
Demacia, everything's
mm.
big and white and marble, you know? And I'm like, well, Mirror's Edge is obviously like a dystopian future, but where everything is corporations and sleek. It's, I guess, a cyberpunk actually in a way.
Yeah.
Um, so you could tweak it towards the League of Legends world, but like I'm just thinking visually, that's kind of cool. Like, how would that work in this quote unquote fantasy setting in this world?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, um, this like an entire city run by one corporation.
Mm,
Like, what would that look like? What does a corporation do in a world of fantasy like this?
mm.
Um, I don't know. And then also we talk about this a lot in D&D. Like, okay, well, how would you do like Mexican American culture? Like what? How would you try and like translate that into a fantasy version of it? You
Yeah.
know, not exactly, but like influenced. You know,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
and or maybe even like a Texan thing. You could even mix the two. I always mix the two because that's me, Tex-Mex. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I don't know. It's like and I love steampunk. So I think it would be kind of like a steampunk, what was that movie? Tree of Life or Book of Life?
Book of Life.
Book of Life meets steampunk. Like I don't
Mhm.
know, but like more cowboys as well. Like
Yeah.
also because I believe Mexican people are the hardest working people on the planet. So
Hmm.
automatically I'm thinking, okay, what's kind of how do you elevate that in fantasy? Like steampunk. Steampunk.
Mm.
So, and also because steampunk is all about classism, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's the rich being safe and the poor and the hardworking blue collar workers are the ones getting burnt by the steam. They're the ones
Mm.
handling the steam all day. And I was like, oh yeah, it's all about revolution because we don't know anything about that.
Oh yeah. Definitely not.
We have some stuff to think about for next week.
Hmm.
Of course, we're gonna forget all of it because we're gonna be just a mess and crying. But
Yeah, yeah.
we'll see what happens. Um, all right, but everyone, join us next week as we talk about Arcane Season 2, Episode 9, The Dirt Under Your Nails.
Mm.
That's it. I'm really trying to think of a sign off, like or like a what's it called? Transition. I got nothing.
All
I'm
right.
terrified. We'll see you next week, everyone.
We'll see you next week, which also is going to be the first week of the new year.
That's right.
So, so listeners, thank you for being with us once again for a whole other year of Lost Legacies.
Uh-huh.
Uh, yeah, we appreciate you. We love you. We're happy that you're here. We're happy to be here for you and with you. And uh yeah, join us in the new year. We're finishing out Arcane. We're finally gonna finish Lost. It's happening.
Yeah.
Baby, I can feel it. Yeah, and we're
One
just gonna
episode a month.
one episode. No, stop.
We're gonna stretch it out as long as we can.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, no, and then we'll push it. We'll push it even further.
Yeah.
Episode a quarter.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
the fiscal quarter. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do that. Ay,
Oh
ay.
man. So, and then of course that's all leading us to the actual revolution sometime next year. And at the same time, we'll be watching Andor. So,
Mm-hmm.
2025, whatever happens, it ain't gonna be boring. I know that.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
until next week, everyone,
Look
look
out
out
for
for
each
each
other.
other.